Been using this dial test indicator today. It's okay. Oops, I really shouldn't be holding it by the stylus, but it's playing up again. That was fine earlier, but it's all of a sudden the dial has got really wobbly. I don't know how on earth that's happened. I don't remember dropping it, knocking it. I might have done. I don't know if it's this, if I've kind of accidentally knocked this with the mount that we've got here, which incidentally is really neat little ball mounted thing here. Probably made in China. It was really, I don't know, about a tenner or something. Really handy little thing this, but yeah, this, what on earth? So kind of looks like there are a couple of screws going in the back of the dial into the main body, and of course you can't see the screws from the top, and this rotates around that piece there, which is the piece that is loose from the main body. Well, I don't fancy taking a glass and a needle and the actual face out, so I'm just going to see if we can find anything out by taking this cover off. Might help to have put this in a vise of some sort. It's okay. Not terribly tight, these little screws, thankfully. Because my screwdriver isn't great, but let's get them out. God, they're titchy. My word. Tiny. Gonna have fun putting them back again. Just in case I've messed this up, I've just ordered a new one from MSC. Not one of these, which is quite a nice Federal Testmaster. I bought it from somebody on eBay, I don't know where, can't remember, but it was cheap at the time. For one of these, I always used to use Verdict. They're sort of on offer, 60-70 quid. There was a cheap one in the latest MSC catalogue, £14 or something ridiculous. And what can we see here? Oh heck. No. I think it screws from under the dial itself, inside, under the face. You can just about see back of the screw hole in here. Just there. Guess there's another one in that side. And that works fine. As long as, I guess, the dial is not rubbing on the pointer. Yep, that's both directions. Whoops, that's jammed up again. What? Oh heck. That is so bizarre. Oh look, you can see the gear wobbling around inside as well. That's not good, is it? This might be pooped. Let's see if we can take the dial off. Well, I've just managed to lever the glass off the face, and also found a tiny little spring here. I don't know where that's come from. That must have come inside. At first I thought it was a screw, but this is a little tension spring. Oh, that's so tiny. But yeah. See that bending? So, don't know if that had little hooks on it. How else would a tension spring work? It's got to have hooks on each end, doesn't it? Where that's come from, I don't know. Unless it is kind of little, I don't know, could work as a screw, couldn't it? But, well, don't know what that is. But, in popping the glass off, this bezel was pushed back and it's sliding around on the back of this. This is not flush anymore, so that is still, there's an even bigger gap between this piece and the main body of the dial, and that means that the gear in here, which is fixed to the spindle, it's just not engaging with the mechanism. So I've kind of made it worse so far. I've got to get this off of here. So I wonder if the needle, the little hand, will just pull off. Let's try that. Looks a bit brutal using a crappy old pair of pliers on this. Oh no, let's find a better pair. Well, this has got to come off. I'm probably completely messing this up. Gonna come off. Does not want to. I guess these things are made not to be pulled apart once they're assembled. Is that gonna come off of there? Wow. Doesn't want to. How on earth is that fixed? I'll probably snap the spindle and then it'll nowhere be any good. Well, if you can buy these things for 15 quid, not this particular model, but something that does the same job. Kind of renders buggering about like this are pretty pointless. That does not want to come off. How on earth is that fixed? This is just flopping all over the place. Worse and worse. Oh dear, oh dear. Wow. Still see the gear there. How does this come off? Surely must do, mustn't it? Little screw? No, I don't think so. I thought these things just pushed onto the spindles. This doesn't want to come off though. Flipping heck. Probably a special little tool, special little puller. Gosh, oh, busted that, just pulled it off. What the heck? Oh! Well, we've got to get this face off because there's screws here. These screws have somehow come undone. How do we get this off? No, the pointer's got to pull off of the spindle. This is kind of looking like a bin job. Even if we get the point off, I'm not sure. Hey, popped off, flying across the bench. Here he is. So, what have we got here? A little gasket around the edge, maybe? Let's see if I can get a little craft blade. And there I was thinking the face had come out and it doesn't want to. Really? What's holding you in? Just a good fit? Watch me mess the sides up. Come on, you've got to come out. Well, no, this blade is too fat. Wow, that is really tight in there. Does not want to come off. It's got to. It's got to come out. Oh, I'm pushing it in. What the heck? I wonder if it'll wobble and pop out from one side. Push down one side and snap out at the other. Dear. Wow. Yeah, these are just made to be snapped together, not made to come apart again. Heck. Wow. All I'm doing is scraping the surface of the face of the dial. Special little suction device required, perhaps? I don't know. Or can I push it back from... if these screws will push it off. Oh yeah. Hey. Da da da. Little varmints, these little screws which somehow come undone. A tiny little spring in the middle of that. Wow. And what are these called? Don't know, but it's one of these. Where was that? That must have been behind that. Oh, I don't want to lose these screws. That was behind there. Yeah, that was behind there. And that was there. So that's got to stay there while this is screwed back onto the... look at that titchy little spring. If I just messed that up, oh my word. Wow, what's that even fixed to? Gosh. That's just kind of... mess now. Let me have a closer look with my eyeglass. Well, that is now a complete tangled up mess, that little spring. I wonder if it will work without it. What does it need a spring there? What does it need a spring for? Oh wow, look at that. I think that is not doing anything anymore. It's probably just wound that spindle whatever way the spring works. Yeah. Really? Not very flat anymore. Oops. I wonder if I just pull that off, whether that will work without it, because I'm not going to get that back in to position. It's just not going to happen. How on earth do they put these things together? Wow. That's attached to that little post there. Got don't know how that's attached, but that's fixed to that post. Let's get that little screw out of the way. Really? You know what? That's a mess now, isn't it? I'm not going to get that back in. Oh my word! Look at that. Ah. That's pretty sloppy, that gear. I suppose the bottom end is located in the mechanism somewhere. Oh yeah, you can see it in that hole. Okay. Well, I'm going to pull this spring off because that's a mess now. I'm never going to be able to get that back into position. So that is still fixed. Wow, look at that. Oh gosh. Well, what on earth is that made of? That's so fine. It's very well fixed. There we are, one end's gone. That end's gone. Throw that away. Oops, look at that. Not sure if that's strictly necessary. I shall find out if I get this back together and it still doesn't work. Maybe it's to do with the spring. Well, let's see if I can get this back on the body. Spring on there. That in there. Like so. And then try and screw that back onto here. This will be fun. So I managed to get one screw in. Let's get the other one, I hope. Sometimes it's handy when things are magnetic and sometimes it's a pain. Okay. The tweezers were magnetic. The screwdriver isn't. Yay. Ah, come on. Yes. Well, you can see the hub of the pointer turning. And that feels quite nice. Didn't seem to be an awful lot of adjustment where these screws go in to hold this to the body. Didn't look like you could waggle that around much, so that is just in. Try and tighten it up so it doesn't come out again, come undone. Okay, swivels round, that works. Okay, I'll dial back in. back in position. Put the little seal. I could try and put the pointer on, couldn't I? If I knew where it was it gone? Oh no, so titchy I can't find it anymore. Oh heck. Where's that gone?